Test, 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 test. Good morning, Amani. Morning, morning. It is Labor Day weekend. I'm glad you're all here. Um, we will be starting the service now. And someone, I need a clicker, right? Clicker, projection, projector on. We'll get it. Good one. Okay, can you click it for me, Mark? We're just waiting for everyone to get here. You guys want a song or something? I don't sing. You don't want a song from me. All right. It is it is our last weekend of the month for our theme Dancing with the Divine Disney. Mark, you got control over one of these? Yes. Oh no. I do. Well, I have mine right there. I have mine right there that I can see. I think you guys good? We can do that there. Yeah, I should probably turn it off. All right. The service was supposed to start at 10:30. We're dancing with the Divine Disney, and we have a guest speaker and concert after our service with Daniel Namod. Thank you. Excited to hear from him. Um, if there's any kids, are there any kids in the house besides Gina? Is there is there any kid? All right, no kids this morning. I scared them all away. Welcome to Amani. We're glad that you're all here, and our vision statement. Click, click. You guys probably all know it. Lighting the path to peace together. Let's see. And next, who is Amani? We are an open and inclusive spiritual community, many paths to the divine, a place to learn, grow, and be, a safe and welcoming space to fill your cup. Thanks for showing up again. Any first timers here? Any first timers? Okay. Nope. I think we're all good. Eric? Is Eric clicking back there? All right. Okay. So the Amani the Amani has the Circle of Light, which is a number of practitioners, and they meet monthly. So if you would like to get prayer, our featured Circle of Life practitioner today is Kathy. So if you'd like to be with her after the service, feel free to bring her some food, and that'll do it right there. She won't even have to move. You'll be first in line. All right, announcements. Next, Eric. All right, here we go. August. Okay, the last one is Daniel Name. Our last Sunday, fifth Sunday of the month, is Daniel Namod today. Our schedule for September will be as you can see, Lucian Baker, Reverend Pixie DeFore, Reverend Donna Apodone, and Reverend Sherry Wynn. After the service, we'll be all sharing the potluck together, and then Daniel will be giving us a kick butt concert here. It starts at 12:15. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, Wendy's the one that you'll be talking to right after service. So go ahead. Okay, good. All right. So, wow, that's small. So our monthly events includes the full moon gathering. We have the teen play date. We have the drum circle. And at the end of September, we'll have the potluck Sunday. Weekly connections. We have the chair yoga class, staying grounded in challenging times, which happens on Thursday. Is that Thursdays? Yeah. Thank you, Wendy. Yes, we can all go ahead and help me out, all you can. And then A Course in Miracles are at the Jaegers on a weekly basis at 3 p.m. 3, thank you. Thank you. And it's Mark. I don't know why I keep on calling it Eric. I know. He's doing Mark. There you go. We're having a meditation and crystal sound healing with Christina and Michelle happening on September 6th from 4 to 5:30. And you can prepay using that QR code, or it's $55 at the door. And another class we're offering is with Steve and Nicole Andrews, and that starts on September 10th. How to Win Friends and Influence People, and that's after the book with Dale Carnegie, which goes way back. And I'm planning on doing that. You don't want to miss that. All right, Sparkle and Shine. We're all, hopefully most of you will be able to make it. It will be on Saturday, September 13th. We want to get the center cleaned up, get into the corners, the nooks and crannies, do some little, cleanups here and there, and get it sparkly and shining. And that will be on September 13th from 10 to 2. And we have another class. This looks just like a one-time class on September 20th, Saturday at 6:15 p.m. with Marissa and Christina. World Peace Activation, Crystal Grid, and Sound Healing. Have they did that, something like that before? They've done that before here. And I think we had a really good turnout. So that's something you might not want to miss either. Is it World Peace Day? Thanks, Kathy. All right. We have an Amazon wish list all set up now. Um, and you can scan the QR code if it was up here. But if you do have an Amazon account, you should just be able to look for the wish list, I believe, and through Amani. And I think the number one thing on there is the ink printers. We need ink for our Canon printer back there. So that's number one. And we're still looking for a laptop or computer for the acoustic sound thingamajig back there in the room back there. Mark? Kids trailer. All right. Volunteers needed. We are having a holiday magical market. There's sign-ups. There's sign-up sheets in the back there, or there will sign up. You guys will know. We're going to be announcing this until it comes. December 6th, you guys know we're going to be doing a big crafts fair. We're going to do pancake breakfast before, as well as serving hot dogs at least, like we did that last year, last Christmas, I believe, right? I remember doing hot dogs. So, yes. So that should be fun. And so Steve and I had this idea that maybe we make it this regular, a pancake breakfast, before, like one time a month before service, and wanted to kind of throw it out there for feedback. Would people be interested in coming? Let's say 9:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we flip some pancakes and maybe have scrambled eggs or something. Pretty simple. Bacon. Yeah, there you go. Okay, Gina. Okay. We can do bacon for Gina. That'll bring her. Anyone else? Okay. So is that a yes, a resounding yes? So okay, good. And it's going to be a few bucks. I think we charged $10 or whatever for the pancake breakfast last time. So here. Yep, here early before service. Not the last Sunday, of course, because we have the potluck. But we were thinking another Sunday, just another chance for us to get together, raise a little money, and break bread together. I love when Marcy says that, break bread together. All right, so if you haven't silenced your phones, like I didn't, gosh, please do now. Daniel's getting ready to come up here. Blessing the service. Will you blessing the service? Okay. I'm not prepared to bless the service this morning. That's beyond my pay grade. So if we can have Kathy come up here. That takes many hours.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So we go inside to that sacred space, that space of the most divine, the creator of all that there is, connecting, feeling, experiencing that connection. And with great gratitude and a joy-filled heart, I bless this service. I bless everyone that showed up today. All the volunteers, our board member Joe that was willing to step up to the plate, and our wonderful, magical Daniel Namod. And with great gratitude, I release this into the universal law, knowing it is done. It is so. And together we say, and so it is. Okay. today's affirmation. Do you want to do it? Okay, I need today's affirmation. All it says is okay. My apologies, Daniel. Okay. All right. We're going to be affirmed by Daniel Nahmod.
I'm
How
going to do my
great
best.
is that?
I'm going to do my best. All right, so are we going to we'll do a meditation in a second? Or are we ready to go? Yes. And then you can do your meditation. Okay, good. Got it. Okay. It's a tightly run ship here. It's kind of like
That's what happens in Mars.
it reminds me a lot. It reminds me a lot of my own life, just so you know. So I have the opposite of judgment, just so you know. It just feels like home to me. Although my wife would have already left. She's not. The way I summarize my wife and me is she leaves the house once, I leave the house 5 times. Oh, forgot keys. Oh, forgot phone. Oh, forgot sunglasses. Oh, forgot the whole thing I was going to return from Amazon. Oh, forgot. And she's like sitting in the car with the engine running, you know. One time. So here we go. Hello. Nice to be here. I don't know if I've ever been here on a Sunday morning. I think only concerts when I've stopped in on weekends, if I remember correctly. Have I been here for a Sunday? After a concert. Okay. So very nice to be here. Been looking forward to it. Really, I've always enjoyed this space. And I love that you're having a community, just for the record, I love that you're having a community kind of a cleanup or spruce up. And I'll also say that it's kind of hard to imagine an office, kind of an office retail space being more pretty or homey than this space is. So whoever is responsible, and maybe it's all of you, maybe it's Marcy, whoever, I know I've told her too, but if you haven't recently looked around at the number of details that are attended to in this space, like for example, concealing the air conditioner with beautiful wood. These kinds of things, and the tree, and the sign outside made of, when you go outside, the sign made of a fence. These things are very subtle and interesting, and they convey hominess and warmth, and they hide the industrial nature of a building so beautifully that, I don't know about you, I mean, when I come in this room, I truly feel more relaxed and more at home than I have a right to walking into a space that I've been in maybe 8 times in my life, It is a beautiful space. Look at how the sound booth is concealed with beautiful wood. There are so many touches. So if you have a chance to come out and participate in that, I mean, that seems like a really worthwhile endeavor. And if you don't have the time, do something in your own home that way. My wife does that. I do not. And I can't even honestly say that I always notice the things that she does. But when I do, I think, my God, she put a flower vase right there. And then I say something, and she's always touched that I notice, because I am the one who doesn't notice, But meanwhile, my environment affects me deeply, and this environment affects everyone who comes in this space deeply, whether you notice it or not. It's one of those things like fashion, like music, like temperature and fragrance. These things are working on us without, whether or not we notice them. Life is very much, it seems to me, about a decision, an ongoing decision of whether to be conscious or unconscious. Consciously affected and effective, or unconsciously affected. So let's take a breath together, and let's sing a little song together before our meditation. And here's how the song goes. I will leave this world as it is. go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Now sing that with me. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Again, I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this day as it is. Here we go. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is peace, joy. Inside there is joy, more than enough. Inside there is more than enough. Peace. Inside there is peace, joy. Inside there is joy, sacred love. Inside there is sacred love. Inside there is sacred love. One more verse. I will leave this life as it is. Sing it even if you don't mean it. Whatever worries you've got, and everybody's got worries, whatever anxieties, pressures, problems, aches and pains, and everybody's got them. I promise they'll all still be there when you pick them back up at the end of the service. So for a minute, have the nerve, the naivete to put them down underneath your seat and leave them there for an hour. All those problems and worries and pains. Take a deep breath. I will leave this life as it is. Here we go. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. One more time. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God.
As we embrace the unconditional loving power and presence within, it is now time for a healing prayer. And as the song so beautifully told us, We all have similar issues, conditions, and problems. And yet, we have a loving presence within each and every one of us that lights our path, that helps us in our journey. It is the creative force of life. It is the love that flows in, as, and through all of us. And so I invite you at this time to take a person, a situation, maybe it's a health concern. Take it into your heart and let's do some healing. Some healing for ourselves, our community, Amani Center, the state, the world. We are all together in this. And one by one, we make a difference. I invite you to take the name, the situation, or the condition. Speak it aloud softly, and then go into your meditation. Gently open your eyes and come back to the room for another wonderful song by Daniel.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, as dreamers do, fate is kind. She brings to those who love the secret fulfillment of their secret longing. like a bolt out of the blue. Fate steps in and sees you through when you wish upon a star. Your dreams come true. Some of you may know the story of Disney, a little bit here and there at least, but it actually pertains to what I wanted to talk about today. My talk title is not title, and the only reason it says title is because I didn't send in a title. Have I mentioned that I am, approximately a mess, or messy anyway. But my talk title is actually Brainless. That's the name. That's the title I'm going with, Brainless, and it actually directly pertains to what I was saying about this space and directly pertains to Disney in a kind of an interesting way. So I'm going to start there. I don't have I won't talk forever because I'm capable of that, and I don't want to do that to you. But I do want to just kind of raise a question for you, and as I said earlier, prompt, maybe, if I'm lucky, an awareness for you of something that has been unconscious that you could benefit from bringing more conscious, if that makes sense. So Disney did, on a span of hundreds, thousands of acres in Orlando, what has been done in this beautiful space, right? Orlando was a swamp and kind of I would say backwater, but it wasn't backwater, it was just all water. And it was not a fancy place, not a popular place, not a populous place. And what Disney did, he had already built Disneyland, and he had his sights set on another location where, I forget what his standard was, but it was a certain number of millions of people who could get to a certain location within one day's drive. And he thought of Florida, and he sent agents out secretly. He created shell companies, and his agents went around, and they identified Orlando as the perfect place for this new sort of outpost, this new empire. And he bought up the land parcel by parcel secretly without telling anybody what the grand plan was, because he needed to end up with like 1 million acres. But of course, if he announced that he was in the market for 1 million acres, it would have raised the value of that land quite a bit. So he didn't tell anybody, he just bought it a little bit at a time without anybody knowing who was buying it and the fact, or even knowing that one agency, one company was buying it all, until came a time when he had enough to build Disney World. He then spent years and millions of dollars, this is in the 70s, building out, in late 60s and 70s, building what became Disney World. And there are stories of Walt living, when he started Disneyland, of him living there on the property. He had a little apartment in Disneyland where he would not just sit up from a window and watch, his money pile up from the window, but he would actually walk around and identify anything that wasn't working. He would pick up cups, or he would privately, personally watch to see how long trash would sit on the ground before somebody would pick it up, and would make sure that the place was pristine. And his vision for Disneyland was that it was a world without separation of race, gender, language, culture, or nationality. His vision was that it was a place where every single person was welcome, and that age was not even an issue. For little kids, some of you know that he actually scaled the kids' rides and some of the buildings even, so that they would look big to adults, but would look accessible to kids. So like the castle is actually scaled in a certain way. I don't remember if I think it tapers inward. I forget, there's a trick that he used to make sure that kids felt that kids did not feel intimidated or overwhelmed, and that adults felt like they were completely immersed in a world. In fact, I live about 20 minutes from Disneyland in Orange County, and I was just telling a friend a couple weeks ago that you can see the fireworks. The fireworks go off at 9:30 every night, and we can hear them from our house. And every so often, and it just happened a couple weeks ago, if you corner me at my table later, I can show you a couple of pictures that I definitely should not have taken, because I was on the highway, on the 5, going by Disneyland, and the fireworks went off, and I caught a couple of pictures, and really I wasn't looking, I just did this, because it's so beautiful. But one of the really striking things is that you are just off the highway when you're in Disneyland, and you would never know if you've ever been to either, to a Disney park. I mean, it really does immerse you completely, and you would never know that you were actually a tennis ball throw away from Interstate 5. You can't hear it, you can't see it, and all of that was by careful design. Disney and his team did their homework. Okay? Now, when you go to Disneyland, I'm not talking really about now so much, because to be honest, I think it's pretty clear the company has kind of lost its soul in that sense. It's not Walt Disney's company anymore. It's really more of just kind of feels much greedier to me anyway, a much more profit maximizing enterprise than what maybe Walt Disney envisioned. But I am sure it's still true that if you walk down Main Street, you don't feel the scrutiny of people picking up cups as soon as they land on the ground. There is a whole tunnel system underneath Disneyland, so you can't see people coming and going. You probably know this, you never, ever, ever see a costumed character out of character. You never see the mask come off. Ever, ever. You never see staff coming and going. They don't park in the parking lot with employees, with visitors, and parade into Disneyland with you. When you are there, you are meant to feel welcome and happy and safe. And all of the homework that was done to make that happen is behind the scenes. That is what I actually specifically want to talk about today, is the difference between the thinking part and the feeling part of life, or of any situation, or of any plan, or even of any relationship in your life or mine. There is a time to be thinking, and then there is a time to be brainless. When the brain is helping, and when the brain ain't doing you any favors. And it is not always easy, especially in an unconscious moment or a fearful moment. It's not always easy. In fact, it's kind of almost never easy to really discern when it's time to go brainless and when it's time to think things through. So I have so many examples to share that it's almost absurd. But everything I thought of, everything I could think of in my life, I felt like a perfect example of thinking versus brainless. For example, I just visited a family member of mine. I just came from Chicago. I visited a family member of mine who was in the hospital for surgery, okay? It was very complicated to get there, to be there for my family in Chicago. I had to make all kinds of adjustments and plans. I had to move money around and frequent flyer points, and I had to figure out where to stay and how to rent a car and who I was imposing on and where they were going to be and what time the surgery was and how long would be useful to stay, right? There's a lot to plan when you're visiting somebody. And then my flight landed, and I took the train, and I arrived at the family's house, and that was the moment to go brainless. The work was done. Now it came time to do what? To feel, to be present. All the logistics, all the planning, all the plane tickets I couldn't afford, and the work I wasn't getting done at home, and whatever else was going on in my mind, there was a time to think that through. When I arrive at a family member's house who's having heart surgery the next day, I do nobody any good by arriving and still staying in the logistics and still staying in the thinking and planning. Then, if I'm conscious enough to do it, which I am nowhere near always, not even close, but I actually did pull it off a couple days ago. I arrived and I took a deep breath, really, I did, internally, and thought, okay, there's no more planning or thinking or anticipating to do here. Now, I'm just present. And that makes me of maximum use, right? Because I could have brought 100 logistical questions with me or worries. And then I walk into a room and what's everybody feel? Instead of, oh, Danny's here, how sweet that you came all this way, it's oh gosh, we'll help you figure out your flight home and let me, what happened to your luggage, all the things that can happen on travel. Okay, so that's just an example, just one. How about, I'm going to flit around to a few examples, because my goal, like I said, is to land on something that for you feels like, oh yeah, I kind of think I might stay in my head a little too long on this one. A little brainlessness might be a good thing. How about having a baby? Having a baby, you build the crib or buy one. You figure out how the hell to put a kid's car seat into your car. You buy a book or you receive several books as gifts or whatever it is about how to raise a baby. You figure out finding a doctor and figure out where birth is going to happen, and you announce a baby shower if you're going to do it, and you think about clothes, and it's exciting and scary, and you don't know how the hell you're going to pay for any of it, or you do, whatever it is, or who's going to be in, you worry about 1,000 different things. You think about 1,000 different things. Then comes, sorry for the pun on this weekend, but then comes Labor Day, and the baby is born, okay? What happens then? You hold the baby, you love the baby, and all the rest is set aside. By the way, that doesn't mean, and this is an important point, it doesn't mean that the thinking phase accomplished everything, because it definitely did not. There will be unanticipatables and surprises and things you have to adjust to, but it's actually, that's not a reason to keep, in my mind, that's not a reason to keep thinking. It's actually a reason to trust the moment when it's time to go brainless, because you know you did not finish handling every detail in advance. Guaranteed. No matter what it is, you didn't plan everything. So come the time when it's the moment to feel and be vulnerable and be flexible, none of those things the specialty of the brain, right? Vulnerability, openness, that's not what the brain's doing. It's what, it's head and heart really is what I'm talking about, but, right? Come that time, it's not that you can tell your heart, don't worry. Don't worry, the brain took care of everything. It's not that. It's the brain did what it could. The brain is still there. It's still receiving blood. It's still alive, but not now. I can come back to the brain. For right now, I'm here. Just for this is not the moment to plan or ponder or prepare or stress or organize. This is the moment to feel. Another example is the process, some of you know because you've come to my concerts especially, is I'm writing a musical, right? And it's really coming along, and it does not suck. I don't know how good it is, but it's getting better. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. We'll find out. I might share a song or two today because I know I have shared a couple songs with you guys before, and you're among the only people in the world who I've done that with. But writing a musical, okay, or writing a song, or writing a book, or painting a picture, or learning a dance. What do? First, you do need to think, okay? If you're a painter, you got to learn materials, brushes, color. Probably not a bad idea to learn some art history. Maybe look at a couple pictures, maybe go to a couple museums, maybe take some lessons for sure. You don't need to, but most people, it's a good idea. Right? You learn some technique. You learn what canvas does versus different types of paper does. You learn what watercolor does versus acrylic versus oil versus crayons versus, whatever. You learn materials. And then comes the time to paint. Time to be brainless. That doesn't mean you've learned every technique and that learning is over. It also doesn't mean that critiquing is over. It just means that for the 5 minutes or 5 hours, or in the case of the musical, 15 years, that I'm working on my show, I can do my research about how a musical is structured or what's appropriate, how long a song should be or how many songs should be in it or how many cast members I put in it or, how to lay out the page is a complicated thing. What does a script look like for a musical? How do you denote here they're singing at the same time, here is a unison part, here is a choir, here is, here you pause. Here's a dramatic moment. Here the spotlight is on just one person. Or whatever. I don't know how you do any of that. So there's a thinking moment. But when I'm sitting at the piano and I'm attempting to feel what a character would say, or what they say in musicals is, in a musical somebody sings when they feel so much they can't talk about it anymore, that they have to sing. The feeling overflows into song, right? So if I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know a song goes here. Time to go brainless. What is the feeling? And write it down. Okay, now I've written thousands of songs. And every time I write a song, in theory, I employ the technique I've learned cerebrally from every song I've ever written before that, okay? But when I'm writing it, I am not thinking about technique. I'm not thinking about how long a verse should be or how many verses or what style of music is this. Would you categorize this as folk? Nothing. Or what instruments will be played? No. What is the feeling? No thinking at all, if I can manage it. Okay? Now that doesn't mean that the first thing I write is going to be perfect. Far from it. And I can remind myself if I feel like I'm, if I am afraid going into just the feeling, if I'm flipping off my brain and think, wait a second, I can't go brainless. I need to think while I'm doing it. I need to think. I can remind myself, got plenty of time to think after. I can come back to this. This mushy, sentimental, sweet thing I'm writing, I'll have the rest of my life to insult it as much as I want with my brain. But how about for now, while I'm creating it, I just feel and go brainless. Okay? How about when you are going on a date with somebody? Or actually, really a really intense moment is getting married. Right? There's a lot of legwork, a lot of planning, a lot of brain work, planning a bar mitzvah or a confirmation or a wedding or a funeral, actually. A lot of money to move around, checks to write, professionals to pay, experts to consult, a facility to rent, a suit or a dress to buy, rituals to learn. It's a lot, and it's a lot of thinking. Okay? Have you ever been to a wedding, or maybe your own wedding, where you never actually got to feel the love that the whole wedding was predicated on? I've seen those weddings where there's so much planned and it's so complicated, or so many things, so many moving parts, and some of which, of course, are never going to work, that you never see the bride and groom relaxing and smiling. Or they're surrounded, this I think is also common, they're surrounded by literally 150 of their favorite people and closest family, and have actual time to connect with none of them, because there was so much planning and no space for feeling. Right? We know this one. And I think weddings and bar mitzvahs and these things are very common. It's very common, I think, to happen. If you're planning even just a date, right? It's nerve-wracking I haven't done it in a long time, but it's nerve-wracking to ask somebody out. You think about what you're going to wear, where you're going to go, how you're going to get there, how awkward it'll be. What's good? Can't eat there. I'll stink of garlic. Can't eat there. It'll stick in my teeth. You give a lot of thought. Who's going to pay? How much is? Right? You think about a lot of things. But when you get there, and you sit down face to face, it isn't anymore about the brain. It's actually about person-to-person conversation. Right? If you're still thinking about any of those logistics, then you'll miss any possible deeper connection. They'll say how they're feeling and you won't catch it. By the way, they might not say it in words, or they'll tell you one way or another what's important to them or what's interesting to them or what's going on with them, and you can very easily miss it if you're still thinking and not feel. In fact, you'll even miss what's important to you, really, if you're paying too much attention to the thinking, to the brain. So, when do you think and when do you go brainless is really the trick. There are, again, I couldn't believe how many examples there are of the duality. An architect, let's say you want to hire an architect for a home, an architect for a company or for a house. Architect learns building techniques, materials, codes, requirements of a modern building, different types of glass, different strengths of concrete, thickness of rebar, right? Architect meets the client. What is it you need? How many people are in this family? How many employees you got in this company? And then an architect checks out the site. Okay, there's a slope here. There's inadequate water there. Whatever it is, a lot of thinking and a lot of planning. And then there has to be a moment when an architect who is an artist, in addition to a technician, an architect, there's got to be a moment when an architect goes brainless and sits down, pen and paper, or laptop maybe, but I'll bet it's pen and paper more often, and draws a sketch of the building in their imagination. All the information is still out there. There's plenty of time to incorporate local building codes and to add a seventh bathroom or whatever it is. There's plenty of time. But there's a dream and an imagination there. There's a work of art there. And we know when a building looks like that. And we know. We can tell, you can feel it when somebody got excited as they were drawing the first draft. That's the brainless moment. The brain will come back. It's fine. It's okay to just feel when it's time to just feel. And flip the switch and turn back on the brain when you need to. So, what in your life would you say you may be overthinking and underfeeling? You have a friend who's sick. You visit them, and your mind is racing with all of the resources you want to bring to them. There's therapy for that. There's physical therapists. I've got a perfect doctor for you. When are you going to take your vacation? You have a massage therapist. Let me go get you groceries. And you stay thinking, and you miss that all they really wanted was your company or a hug. It's very possible, very, very easy to do. If you stay in your head, the heart doesn't get a chance to open up. So is there an area in your life where you might benefit from some brainlessness? Raising a kid. Very easy to get caught up in the, here's what I should do, here's what my boy should do. This is his age, this is his development. He should really be taking lessons in this. He really should get a 2. Really should. We got it. Here's what we got to. Here's what. Oh, we need to make that appointment. Got to get him. Oh, got to get him these lessons. Got to get. He shouldn't be behind in math. Blah, 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 and your brain reels all the time. Oh God, he's a sophomore in high school. College applications coming up. Danger, Will Robinson, or whatever that phrase is, and the brain is constantly thinking, did I get him his vaccine shots? Is he eating enough? Always thinking, and I'm guilty of it, and my wife is, and we have a 13-year-old boy, right? So a lot of thinking. But there comes a moment for brainlessness, and I don't mean just his. I mean, my wife and I have to, if we're going to be the best parents we can be, we have to recognize consciously that there are times to plan and think and worry. There are times to teach a life lesson, to make a teaching moment out of something. And then there are times when, even though he's 13, he's just a baby, and all he actually needs is a hug. My wife is much better at that than I am. She still cuddles him, and you can feel how much he needed it when she does it. When we let the learning go and let the planning go and just say, of course I'll make you hot chocolate. No, you can't drink that. It's too late at night. There's some caffeine in that. You don't want that. Have you brushed your teeth? You got it. It never ends. The details, the logistics of a kid, of a dependent of any kind. It never ends. Sometimes brainlessness is the greatest gift you can give that person. And, of course, your own peace of mind. And as an artist, the greatest art. And in a relationship, the biggest love is the brainless kind. And this is an ongoing struggle for me, for sure. If I have 1,000. I'll wrap up now. I know it's probably late, but I mean, when I do, I've done thousands of performances, 26, 27 years. My first performances were in 1999. I've lost track of how many years that is. So 26 years, okay? Thousands of performances. When I tell you that a performance is complicated, I do not have words to describe how complicated. I'm not saying it's suffering, but it's so many details that go into what looks like a schmo wearing jeans singing songs. I mean, it does not look complicated. I hope it doesn't, right? But so many details go into what's on that table and go into the songs I sing for you. And it's impossible to describe. First of all, I've been playing piano since I was 7. So how many techniques am I using to play When You... by the way, I've literally never played When You Wish Upon a Star before in my life, okay? So how many techniques did I have to know to be able to play something by ear, to look up the lyric, which I still screwed up a little bit, but to look up the lyric on my phone, because it occurred to me, Disney Day, I'll sing something Disney, right? How many techniques? Could not begin to count how many calculations my brain was making. How much thinking for 50 years has gone into the ability to do that, right? When you give a public speech, ask anybody who's ever given a talk, or if you've given one, you know. You can think your way into oblivion planning a talk. Then you get up in front of the microphone, and I'm sorry, it's time to go brainless. Not if you're a professor, I get it. Not if you're imparting specific academic information, but if you're trying to convey a feeling, I'm not doing anybody a favor by reading a script. Then I'm only in my head and not at all in my heart. And for me, the feeling is the whole thing. So I have to forget everything I know while I'm playing When You Wish Upon a Star. And I'm thinking about those lyrics. I'm also, by the way, thinking of one of my favorite people, a good friend of mine, who I happen to know loves that song, and I was actually thinking warm things, feeling warm things about that guy, who I haven't seen in a few months, longer than that even, and I'm thinking about him. So I'm only in the feeling, which is why, of course, I make mistakes. You know, Yitzhak Perlman probably doesn't have that problem, you know, but I have that problem. But it's not a problem for me. I'd rather feel it than think it. When I'm singing, I've said it 1,000 times over the years, when I'm setting up the table and when I'm going to the table after to, you know, hopefully sell a few things, I'm an entrepreneur. When I'm singing or when I'm talking, not an entrepreneur and not a thinker, a feeler, right? That's all I've got to give. If you wouldn't want to watch me think through a song, it's very unpleasant, you know, to calculate, to visibly labor at it. It's one of the reasons why you almost never sing a song of mine that I don't know by heart, because I want to feel it. And if I'm trying to process, wait, what the hell happens next? What key is this in? Then I'm not feeling it, and that's not where I live when I'm this. When I'm there, plenty of thinking goes on. I mean, way more than I could ever describe, you know. So, as I said, back to the original question, I'll just sing you a song to close. Where in your life might you be overthinking things a bit? Where would some brainlessness do you some good? A little softness, a little vulnerability, a little listening instead of talking. I know, not my specialty, right? A little kindness instead of calculation, a little spontaneity instead of planning, a little openness instead of fear and preparation. Do the work, got it. Do the process, got it. Do the preparation, the training, the planning, got it. Then surrender it, put pen to paper, see what comes out of your heart. You got plenty of time later to look at it with cold, calculating, cerebral eyes and thoughts. Plenty of time. I'll critique the hell out of my songs after I write them. But while I'm writing them, I do my best to be brainless, to just feel it. And that is, in my experience, how I do my best work, how I'm the best son I can be, the best father I can be, the best husband I can be, the best citizen I can be, the best friend I can be, is to know when to stop thinking and planning and preparing and just be present and kind. I'm through asking where I'm going. I've been asking all my life. I've grown tired of all this wondering when everything seems to turn out right. So when my mind needs something to do, wants to know the future, I whisper this: I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. So here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Some say it's crazy. Some say naive to close my eyes and take the leap. But I know better, 'cause I believe even in the dark my soul can see. So when my mind plays its usual games, oh, my answer is always the same. Yeah. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time, 'cause I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way.
Thank you, Daniel.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That was great. Great. So I have the same problem as you do when I want to get out of the house. Are we overthinking, or are we feeling too much?
Right.
Going back and forth
Right.
5
Have
times.
I grossly underplanned? Yeah, that's also possible, of course. Right.
Or are we thinking a lot?
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
anyways, anybody else have that problem trying to get out of the house? All right. Yeah, exactly. So, Mark, you got the slides up there. Okay, so now it's time for our joyful time of giving. And there's many ways that we can give to the center. You can share your abundance with us. We have the scan to pay up there. As you can see, it's usually up there. You could set up a donation through your bank for recurring, or even Venmo now. You can do recurring, I believe, as well. And just to donate, you can go to our website and click the button and such. So we appreciate all you can do for the center and anything you can share. It was great. I do want to share one thing. An old family friend, they do come to the center here. Lindsay Johnson, you guys might have met her. Lindsay Johnson and her mom, Ellen Johnson. They live down in Folsom, and they were just here last Sunday. And I go back to when I was 2 or 3. That's how long, and that's a long time. That's how long ago we go back with this family, the Johnsons. Last Sunday night, they lost their home. It burned to the ground in Folsom. I don't know, two houses, their house, and then their neighbors got burnt up pretty bad as well. So that right now everybody's safe. They got out. It was about 10:30 at night, and there was some type of mishap or something. And so if you would like to, they do have a GoFundMe account. If you'd like to share, just come and talk to me after, and I can connect you to that. It's under Lindsay Johnson. I know that, and I'm sure you could find me. You guys all know Marcy. Marcy knows to get a hold of me, and I can get you connected. So if you would like to make that donation, just let Marcy or myself know, and I can get you connected. So now we need a song. Great. Nope, let's go. Let's go. Come on, hurry up. Here we go.
Yeah. Let's do another little song. All right. And we'll start. We have a potluck right after. Yep. At the table, I have music. I have a flash drive with 14 albums on it, which is a cool little object. Even it's depressing. It's depressingly small for 25 years of work, but otherwise it's a cool thing. And I have individual albums and download. You can download it on a card or straight to a phone or something. And then I have my wife's jewelry, and I also am doing. I've started doing some international trips with groups. So next year I'm doing Peru in end of May, and I'm taking a group to England and Scotland in October. If you're interested in either of those things, just ask me about them. So here's a little song, and then I'll see you in a half hour, 40 minutes. We'll do some hour, let's say hour and a quarter or so of music. I hope you'll stick around, and if you don't, have a wonderful day. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the warm welcome. Do 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 do. Shouldn't I be grown up by now? Shouldn't I have finally figured out a few things? I ain't a kid anymore. Didn't I go through this back then? Why the hell do I need to again? Who said time was a cure? For a minute I'm the man that I wanna be, then up comes some adult non-emergency, and my costume comes apart. And I've lost count of the steps and the slips and bad habits I was sure would lose their grip, but still clinging to my heart. And I'm wondering why I learn and I forget. Yeah, I learn and I forget. Oh, I learn like I'm just getting started. Why do I learn and I forget? Yeah, I learn and I forget. Oh, I learn that life ain't for the faint-hearted. Do 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 do. Oh, I wish I could say wisdom comes with age, but lately I ain't so sure. At the end of the day, I just hope I've made a mistake I never made before. Tell me why I learn and I forget. Yeah, I learn and I forget. Oh, I learn like I'm just getting started. Why do I learn and I forget? Yeah, I learn and I forget. Oh, I learn life ain't for the faint-hearted. Oh, why do I learn and I forget? Yeah, I learn and I forget. Yeah, I learn like I'm just getting started. Why, oh, why do I learn and I forget? Yeah, I learn and I forget. Oh, I learn that life ain't for the faint-hearted. Do 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 do. I learn and I forget. Do 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 do. Life ain't for the faint-hearted. No.
You guys ready? Hold hands if you would like.